I had a different video in mind and got halfway done making it when I was walking through a Kmart and said, oh yeah, they have these guys. Let's unbox it, shall we?
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
The Air Warriors Interceptor comes with a box! This box has words. The Interceptor itself is a shotgun foregrip priming blaster, clip fed, trigger activated monstrosity of goodness. Right now, this one is a Kmart special, or at least that's what the box says. And they had it on sale here in my hometown for $22 US. And they had like a 15% off, so I got it for just south of 20 bucks. So with that 20 bucks, you get the Interceptor itself. You get a stock and a scope and a rail attachment that will put the scope on anybody else. I don't know, like a Maverick. No. Hey, there we go. Oh, that makes the Maverick better, don't you think? Don't you think now all of a sudden the Maverick has been reborn? The Interceptor also comes with not one, but two 10-dart clip magazines, boxes, whatever you want to call them. It's your world. I'm just here, talking in it. Maybe they're clips. Maybe they're magazines. I don't know. And I don't care. The Interceptor also comes with 30 long-distance darts. Have you noticed? They kind of smell like airplane cement. You know that airplane cement you buy for like your little airplane models? I don't know. 30 of them, because we're going to lose a few. And we can still fill up 2 clips after having lost a few. When evaluating a blaster, I usually approach it the same way I evaluate speeches when I judge in speech and debate competitions. I usually try to look for balance, because just dumping on something isn't really very useful, and overly praising something isn't tremendously useful as well. Very rarely is something made that is just so bad that there's very little to find positive about it, and most of the time there isn't something so amazing that it's difficult to find any kind of shortcomings or faults in it. So I typically will like to try to find 3 things that I like, and then 3 things that I would like to see changed, improved, or worked on. And let's start with something that I like. First of all, the price point. At $20, you can't go wrong. $20 for a blaster, a stock, a couple clips, an adapter, a scope, 30 darts. Just before we talk about anything else, $20 worth of stuff comes in this box, and that's actually a pretty impressive, as far as I'm concerned, amount. So the price point, even if you're not wild about it, there are a lot of things that can be done with the Interceptor, like right away, that can shore up some of its shortcomings and make that $20 a really solid investment. There's a very low entry bar, if you will, at the $20 price point. Another thing that I like about the blaster itself is that the size is, there's going to be a problem with the size, But the size overall, okay, if for anything else, this is not too large of a reach. Maybe it's too large of a reach for small children, but for an adult is concerned, it's a pretty good reach. It doesn't feel uncomfortable firing at it from the hip or from the shoulder. I haven't actually tried the stock yet. Right. Okay, so at this point in the program, it's too tight, and this is not a surprise. You took a look at the stock and you said, right? The stock is totally workable in a lot of ways that can be addressed super easily. But as far as, like, again, for $20, you got a blaster that is it's a good size. So, you know. The third thing that I like about this particular blaster is that they give you clips in plural. So the whole concept of, like, producing a blaster that's borderline prohibitively expensive and then only providing you with one clip, presuming that, you know, you'll buy it anyway. So right away, when you see somebody actually coming out and saying, yeah, we're not going to expect you to shell out additional cash later, we're going to get you a couple of clips to get started, I find that's really a nice bit of forward thinking. And then, of course, with just a little bit of work, I mean, they have to be filed just a little bit, but you can get, I mean, really, with just a little bit of pressure, you can get a Nerf clip to sit in there and work, and it does come out with just a little bit of course I have to prime it, right? It does come out. So 98% integration is the order of the day for Nerf compatibility. Just a little extra force to get it to clip. I mean, you take a file and you just file a little bit of this material away and it'll work like a charm. So let's talk about the things I'm not wild about. One of the things, and I know I just said this is a $20 blaster, but there should be, to a certain extent, some attention to detail. And if you're going to make advertising an accessory clip so that your accessories will work on other blasters, then maybe your accessory should somehow demonstrate your attention to detail. I mean, if we're going to put the work into putting together this little rail attachment thing, then we might want to work to make certain that the crosshairs in the scope point up and down. I do not believe I can show you this on camera, but as I'm looking through the scope, the little T is not even close to being aligned up and down, vertically and horizontally perfectly. They're rocking a lean, man. And so basically at this point in the program, at 20 bucks, right? I'm saying, hey, it's a great value. You get what you pay for, and if you're going to spend the time to make this, you'd better spend the time to make certain that you're going to want to put this on other things, because right now I feel like just tossing this, and then at the point where I'm tossing that, don't even need this anymore, because I don't want to put the scope on it on anything else. Not that I would expect, I mean, it's just the tactical factor, right? So if we're going to have the adapter, we should make certain that the scope is set up in a way that when it's produced, it says, hi, we have just a fair amount of attention to detail. Another criticism that I have of the Interceptor is that this seems to be a blaster that couldn't make up its mind what it wanted to be. There were 3 of the new Air Warriors that were at the Kmart that I visited. 2 of them were bolt action and, you know, snipers. And I looked at those and I looked at the Interceptor and I said, well, all 3 of them are sporting 100-foot ranges. I'll take the one that's clearly got the higher rate of fire compared to the bolt action, just shotgunning, right? You know, that's all well and good. That's all that you need to do. So I ran with the Interceptor. And of course, the first question I asked myself was, even though it didn't say it on the box, does this have slam fire? It would seem to make sense that this would have slam fire. So under normal circumstances, it pulls back and shoots. Okay, no surprise there. So I held down I held down the trigger, and look what that does. Look what that does, right? All right, so just by itself, without any darts, that's not really a problem. The the minute that you put darts inside the clip, basically what happens is that the first, when the breech is open and the dart loads in, but then you've depressed the trigger, so everything just gets pushed forward, including the dart tooth, so that dart slides forward, but it hasn't been propelled. So now it's there. So then you pump the handle back to prime it again, and now another dart can come up, and now it's jammed. So why we don't have locks in here, I mean, we have a lock right now, which is really odd when it's all the way back and it's stuck. Okay, there is a lock in place. We pull it forward, and we can pull the trigger again. But there is nothing preventing trigger pull at the very beginning. You pull it slightly back, now there's trigger lock. Okay, but if you pull back the trigger right now and then go all the way back, that lock has failed, so you can jam. Now, there are two other blasters that were both bolt action at the Kmart, and I chose this one for rate of fire, but also here's the thing, I think this ought to have slam fire. And if you're going to have two that have relatively low rates of fire, you should have one that has a relatively high rate of fire. So there's no slam fire on this, which I found to be almost like, I would almost call that a complete mistake. You want to have blasters that are fundamental, and you want to have a range of blasters that do different things. You want to have revolvers and shotguns and rifles and bolt action and single shot and slam fire and flywheels and air power, and so having that variety, you know, gives people choices. And this blaster, I think, missed its calling. I think it needed slam fire in order to make itself more different than some of the other blasters that are out there. And so this could be, you know, an Alpha Trooper Elite or something like that from the Air Warriors line. So that's my second criticism, is that it either needed a better lock system, or more importantly, I think this guy should have had slam fire. Obviously, my third criticism is the handle. This grip is, look, I got a 10-year-old whose hand was bigger than this. If you're trying to sell to kids, this handle isn't for kids. It's just not. So I can't even begin to showcase just how much, right? I can't even get the ring finger all the way on there. The ring finger goes under, and that's bring the trigger up, and that pinky finger is just sitting right there on the edge. I've got half of the final finger on the grip. This is, I mean, okay, look, the diameter, you want small hands, fine. Leave the diameter like this, but a small hand is going to grip this the same way, whether this handle is, you know, 3 inches or 5 inches long. Don't change the diameter then, but for crying out loud, give me something more to hang on to. The grip is very tight in the trigger well. This is not a comfortable grip. And if it weren't for, I was wondering if you were wondering why there was a Maverick in the video. This Maverick is going to give, and this is really the only reason why Mavericks still exist in my opinion, this Maverick is going to give his life and handle and trigger well to the Interceptor, because I actually want to give the Interceptor a try. I want to take this guy up for his paces. There's a local event this Saturday that I'm going to go to, and we're going to run this guy in stock form through his paces to find out to what extent he's a workable blaster. But number 3, I'm going to tell you right now, this handle is, it's so bad. This handle is so bad. Alright, so where does that leave us? I'm not sure yet. I want to run this through my chronograph. I want to run it through its paces at our little get-together this Saturday to see what my final thoughts are right now. But as far as an out-of-the-box stock form evaluation is concerned. All things being equal, I haven't really built an evaluation scale yet. If an average blaster is C, which means that it's fine but needs work to meet other blasters that are out there on the market, but a C is still better than, like, you know, garbage that you would never want to see again on the shelf. I guess this is somewhere in that C to B range as far as blasters go. It's definitely like a lukewarm recommendation. Like, if you had 20 bucks and you wanted this guy, you probably won't go wrong as long as you know what you're getting in for. But then again, you know, if you've already got some working primaries that you like and you want to pass over this one, I totally understand that. $20 will get you more darts, $20 will get you more epoxy putty for other shell modifications. So if you pass up on this one, I don't blame you. But if you pick it up, I don't blame you either. It's probably a win-win either way. So with that being said, I'm not, I guess really, do I feel bad having purchased this? No, I don't feel bad having purchased this. Do I intend on buying more? I don't think so. I think one will be enough. It's definitely not like, oh my goodness, I need 8 magnums, but it's definitely not, wow, I really shouldn't have bought. I'm not even going to admit to what I've bought recently because I'm saddened by what I've purchased recently. One last thing, Pan War 2 Into the Fire is our Pacific Northwest big war, and it's happening August 13th at 10 a.m. at Fort Borst Park in Centralia, Washington. I'll be there. Some of my Salem peeps will be there. We'll have some genuine bona fide internet-tainers there as well. We'll have a good time filming and nerfing, and I think there will be a real pan there this time. If not, I'm going to bring a pan. It's not going to be Nerf foam covered. It's going to be a real pan. So, yeah, just think about that when you're making your decisions on August 13th, that I'm bringing a real pan. So, what did you think of the Interceptor? Is it a buy for you, or are you going to pass it along on your way to purchasing something else? Let me know in the comments down below. Is this something that you would also put a better handle on, or is it just something you'd pick up for the aesthetics? Maybe nifty shell modifications down the road. Like I said, I'll give you an idea about what I'm doing on my follow-up video on the Interceptor. More on that later. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to pick up your darts. It's the neighborly thing to do, and always wear eye protection. We'll see you all later. Bye.